Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Hope you're doing well. This is going to be a reading vlog and a review and quite possibly a comparison with the movie adaptation, I'm not sure, of probably my most anticipated read of the entire year. That is My Policeman by Bethan Roberts. I have wanted to read this book for many months. When I got into reading around February, March time, I was like, I need this book in my life. The story just sounded so interesting, and the setting in Brighton, everyone was just it was everything I wanted. But however, I was very adamant that I wanted to buy it in Brighton, but I never went over the spring, summer or whatever, and it's very unlikely that I will go before the end of the year. So I just was like, I'll just order it instead. So it's currently the 6th, and the Amazon Prime movie adaptation came out 2 days ago, but I haven't watched it yet, even though I really want to. But I want to be I read the book first. So yeah, so I'm gonna try and read this. I believe I'm probably gonna get through it quite quickly, just because I want the information in my brain. But yeah, so I will give you an update soon. And yeah. So I've read to page 94, and it's sort of split up into 4 parts. The first part is from Marianne's perspective, and she is writing down her note sort of letter-ish thing. She's basically writing sort of a memoir-esque sort of thing that she plans to say to Patrick after when she's finished writing it, and then when I think I go on to the next page, the next part, it goes back back to the time that she was talking about, but from Patrick's perspective, and because I think he was meant been keeping journals, and then I think there's another one from Marianne, and then from Patrick again at the end. But basically, because I haven't really told you what the book is about. So Marianne is thinking about it sort of from her childhood up until 20s, about when she first met Tom, who is the policeman, and she's just talking about her friendship with Tom's sister, and sort of her infatuation with him, and sort of a longing to be with him and stuff, a crush and stuff. And then he goes off to the catering corps, and he's trained to be a policeman, and then she goes through teacher training and has started a job as a teacher in a primary school, and then he comes back, and then they start sort of going on swimming lessons and things, and then she is introduced to Patrick, who works in the museum that Tom had been going to, because they've both been sort of opening his mind to sort of arts and books and stuff like that, and then yeah, so yeah, at the moment it's not really living up to my expectations of what I thought it was going to be, because I thought it was just going to be really good, but it's still good. It's just, I don't know, and there's some things I'm I don't really care that much, but it's okay. It's definitely intriguing, and I'm excited to sort of see it from Patrick's perspective next, and then sort of get more deeper into the story, because quite a lot of it has been backstory at the moment. But yeah, and I have been sort of I don't know if you can see, but I have been underlining some things. There haven't really been that much that has stuck out to me. A few little quotes and stuff, but yeah. I totally forgot to say, but Marianne is basically meant she's writing in 1999, thinking back to the 50s, when the story is sort of set, and yeah, I was just saying, it's kind of weird. It's I feel strange thing to do with like my family, because I was born in 1999, and one of the like naughty children that Marion teaches in the school is called Alice, which is my sister's name, and Patrick's like nurse helper woman in like the modern day 1999 is called Pamela, and that's my mum's name, and it's a bit strange. So I've just finished part 3. I'm gonna get on to part 3 soon. I've been reading so much today, like I'm so engrossed. Yeah, so this is sort of like Patrick's POV, like written sort of like as he was like writing like a journal in that time, like in 57, 58, about like how he sort of like a diary-esque sort of thing, how he like first met Tom the policeman. My policeman is how he like calls him in his notes. Like sort of like by accident he became like sort of infatuated with him, and then like sort of like planned to meet again, and then like asked about like, can I maybe like draw you or something for like a exhibition on like ordinary Brightonians for the museum that he works at. And then sort of like he goes and sort of agrees to it, and he goes back to his like flat and things. And yeah, so I've definitely 100% enjoyed his like telling of the story more, I guess, than Marion's, because it's like in the time it feels a bit better, and it's, I don't know, but yeah, I definitely enjoyed that more. There's still some things that I'm like, that's still like a bit unnecessary detail I'm not really at caring about. I don't know. But yeah, it's definitely going good, and I'm definitely intrigued, and I want to know more on what happens. And yeah, and also like good about just talking about like sort of like how gay people that had to like, sort of like hide who they was and in like their time, and like just like different like things like that. And I talking about like his like Patrick's like past in a way, and like other like past relationships and like friends and like different things. And yeah, I just yeah, all the characters are like kind of like all okay. I'm not really like that like in love with them.
I'm kind of, I don't know what to feel. Yeah. Let's have a little talk.
So I've just finished Marion's like second part, which is like part 3. And I haven't really got that much left. I don't really know what to feel. It's I don't know. I really wanted to love this so much, but at the moment I'm not. I feel like when I was listening to Marion's part, I was like, okay, it's alright, I'm getting into it. And I went to Patrick's part and I was like, oh my god, I'm really enjoying this now. But then I went back to Marion's part, and then I was like, there's just some things I do not really care. Like, yes, I do like it, I do understand what you're feeling and stuff, and I'm just like, oh, I don't know. It's just sad, but it's heart like wrenching and breaking, and it's just like raw and like sort of tender, but like just I don't know. And then like at the end of her part, she does like the main thing that like it says on the back about how the two lovers must share him until one of them breaks and 3 lives are destroyed. And when she did this certain thing, I'm just like, oh, my heart, I can't. This is, I don't know. I don't know what to think. I don't know what to think about this book. But yeah, so I've just started on Patrick's second part, and there is actually, I thought it was 4 parts, but it's 5. There's like another one at the end, which I think is from Marion's POV again. Yeah. And here's a little thing that I'm like, so in Marion's parts, she's gonna be like in her 60s. In 1999, thinking back to like 57, 58, and maybe 59. Yeah, probably. But like, that's like what, like 30, 40 years ago? I'm not sure. My brain isn't really working. But like, she's remembering things in like really good like detail. Like it's more leaning to like if she had been writing a journal. Like that's just how I'm feeling. Like she's like talking about like how, like when she went out for like drinks with like a teacher friend, how she would like have imagined, like she would have thought that she would have looked better with like a glass of stout or something instead of port and lemon. I'm just like, you remember that? You remember that? Someone that you sort of like lost contact with? Okay. And then like how her like sister-in-law Sylvie, like what like is like the color of her lipstick, and like exactly what she was said and like thought about like her like child, like different things. I'm like, I'm not really, it ain't making sense, love. She wouldn't, like, you wouldn't be able to think that much clarity on these like things like from so long ago. Yes, I understand that like it's not just like bomb bomb bomb, like just so much detail, but like I don't know. And then yeah, like it's not everything that's happening every single day. It's just like the certain like main points that are like necessary to put forward the main plot line, which does make sense. But it's just I don't know. It reads more like a journal than a thinking back, if you get what I mean. And yeah, it's, I don't know. I don't really know. So I'm gonna read some more of this, and I'll be with you soon. This is gonna be a quick update because there's like work going on out there. But I finished Patrick's second like part, and yep. So I've just got about 30 pages left, which I'm gonna read a bit after. It was, it's really sad. It's I don't know. It was very sad. It was very, 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 very sad. It just, I finished my Policeman, and I am very confused. I don't know what to think about this book. In all honesty, it was good, but it wasn't like great. It definitely did not live up to like my anticipation or like what I thought I was gonna feel and get from it. And that's because I've read other similar vein books that I've just enjoyed a lot more, about sort of like mid, like, you know, like years ago, thinking back to like a queer relationship that was like illegal and like deemed like really wrong and everything like that. Like Swim in the Dark by Thomas Jodorowsky and Lie With Me by Philippe Besson. I honestly prefer those two books a lot more to this. And I felt that it was just, the writing was a lot better, and just like sort of like things with the storyline and just like the characters and just yeah. But then again, it's not really the same because it's sort of like, it's a different story, and it's the way it's presented and stuff is different. So yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna give this yet. I really want to give it 5 stars just because I want to, and I feel like because it's just a book that I just it's a book that I should have loved, really. But I don't know. I'm thinking more maybe like 4.5, 4.75, maybe a 4 on Goodreads. I don't know. I really don't know. You can skip ahead in the timestamps because I don't know how to like do it on iMovie with like actually putting it up on the screen now. But I think I'm just gonna have a little like a spoiler blurt about the book because I kind of want to. So yeah, but a lot of things I felt they wasn't answered. Like, did Marianne's letter to Patrick's boss saying that he was a sexual invert and like making up things about like how like protecting from like children, I just, oh my god, when she wrote that, I was like, hun, nah, I ain't having it, love. No, just protect you. Oh my god, I just felt so like raged. But yep, so when you sent that letter, but then like when the police came to like arrest Patrick, they didn't say about like, oh, we saved her a letter and stuff like that. It was because of like a case when he like apparently had like gross indecency with another man like in like a public restroom or something, which he didn't do, but then like thing, but I don't know, like were they linked, or did like the other guy just get found out and then he told on Patrick and then stuff like that? It wasn't really explained. Also, like, I wanted more from Patrick's POV. I wanted more of like just like his journals and stuff. I wanted to know what like happened like after like the scene in the prison, which was like, oh my god. I wanted to know like what like he did with his life like after getting out and like back with his mother, and just, I don't know, I just wanted more from his POV, to be honest. Yeah, I don't really know. I don't know. And like I mentioned before, how like Marion is like thinking back. She's like a 60-year-old woman now. She's thinking back like 40 years ago about like these events, and like they're in like such like journal level detail. I'm like, okay, photographic memory, who, like, it just that didn't really like add up to me. Like, I don't know, I feel like maybe it might have been better if maybe like at the start she was like, oh, I was sorting through my old diaries or something from like the year, and then I wanted to like know about you, what happened to you, and then that's why like she like went to like bring him to the house and things, and then she felt that she wanted to like tell you about them, as I'm saying, tell you as in Marion telling Patrick about what happened like from her POV, and like for him to like not, because at the end she's like, don't like, I don't need you to forgive me, I just want you to like hear me out. But like I feel like maybe that might have been like sort of like maybe like a better like idea, like because then she would have had like the details, because if it like she was thinking about like a diary or something, if she's just thinking back all these years, I'm like, how can you remember like someone's lipstick color and like what like they were thinking and different things like that? It just didn't really, I don't know. And yeah, I don't know if they're like really spoilers. Also, like, I wanted to know what happened to Julia. I loved Julia, especially when she like came out as like a lesbian to Marianne. But then she just like walked off. But then like it kind of annoyed me though, like before, when she sort of like planted the seed saying that like, oh, Patrick's a commissar, and I was like, well, hun, like, and then she said, oh, this like thing when they're on Castle Hill is like a turning point in like in my like realization and stuff. I'm just like, Julia, why did you say that? Why did you say that for? No, thank you. No. But then obviously like it would have like happened probably anyway and stuff. So I mean, I still like Julia. Patrick's mum was definitely my favorite character. Marianne, I got her like reasonings for like her like things, but then and then she just sort of like understand things, but I don't really know. Tom was also just like but then like you have to think like this was like the 50s. He was a policeman. He was literally like he had so much like internal like homophobia and everything, and like external as well, because like obviously his job at the time, like there was a lot of like arresting of like homosexuals and stuff. So yeah, but then I don't know. And then I mostly liked Patrick. Yeah, I don't know. And there's something just really that believable. But yeah, I'm gonna end this little spoilery mind blurt on my favorite part of this book. That was like I think I feel like it summed it up so well, and that is when Patrick is like is at the end of his like second part, when he's in prison talking from prison. Also, I'm like I don't really get it, but yeah, whatever. And then he's talking about to his like friend, because that's why he was given like a notebook, because he was like educated, and the tobacco baron guy, Bert, I think he was called, yeah, was like, I want you to tell me like your educated stories and stuff. But I'm just quick. I think I might just read the whole thing because I'm in the mood. Have you heard of Thomas Burgess, the policeman from Brighton? Nah, why would I? He is a very interesting story. I know enough about that filth already. What about a bit more on Shakespeare? The tragedies. I love tragedies. Oh, this is a tragedy. One of the best. That line was like that sums up the book. A tragedy, yes. He looks dubious but says, "Go on then, surprise me." I draw a deep breath. Tom to his friends, was a policeman with a problem. You don't say. He wasn't a bad policeman. He turned up on time, did his job to the best of his abilities, tried to be fair. Don't sound like any copper I know. That's because he wasn't like any other copper. He was interested in arts, in books and music. He wasn't an intellectual. His education meant he couldn't be that, but he was intelligent. Like me. I ignore this. And he was very handsome. He looked like one of those Greek statues in the British Museum. He loved to swim in the sea. His body was strong and lithe. His hair was golden and curled. Sounds like a bloody queer. A few other men had gathered around to listen. That's what he was. I say, keeping my voice even. That was Tom's problem. Bert shakes his head. Fucking filth. I don't think I want to hear no more Hazelwood. It was his problem, but it was also his joy. That line. Oh my god. His problems are just that is it. That's why some things are just like so good. I continue. Because he met an older man, whom he liked very much. This older man took Tom to the theatre, to art galleries and the opera, and opened up an entirely new world to him. The muscles in Bert's face had stopped moving. His eyes flicker. Tom liked to listen to this man talk, just like you like to listen to me. He took a wife, but that meant nothing. He continued to see the older man as much as he could, because Tom and the older man loved each other very much. Bert comes up close to me. Why don't we change the fucking subject, mate? But I don't stop talking. I can't stop. They loved each other, but the man was sent to prison on a trumped-up charge because he'd been careless. Tom's pride and his fear stopped him from ever seeing the man again. Despite this, the man went on loving him. He would always love him. I tell you, I cried at that. Also, I cried at another bit when Marion is talking to like her sister-in-law about like Patrick being arrested, and sort of like her like knowing and confessing that she like wrote a letter and stuff. And then she's like, I'd have done the same in your situation. I looked to her. What do you... Oh, Marion. Tom's my brother. I've always known, haven't I? Although I hoped he'd change, of course. I just... yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I really do not know what to think about this book. But yeah, this video is going to be so long. I'm sorry. But yeah, I'm going to watch the film soon and then give you a little comparison, little movie review, if you will. And then I'll give my final rating and thoughts on this book. After that, movie time! So I am about halfway through the film. I just thought I'd get some homemade pumpkin pie and a coffee to have whilst I finish it. And I am really enjoying it. Yes, that it's like it's an adaptation, so it's obviously going to be some like differences and like in the way the story's told and like how it's developing and stuff. But I am enjoying it. And yeah, I don't even know why I came on here to say anything, so I don't really have much to say. I finished the film about an hour ago and then I just spent the rest of the time just like recollecting, trying to put my thoughts together and try and write a review for my Goodreads and StoryGraph, which I've just written in my notes. It was just kind of good to just get that sort of like a mind blur and then sort of like piece things together, because this story, the book, the film, just everything's all very mind bog. I don't really know, but the film, it was good. It was definitely good. It wasn't great. I did like the scenery and just like the characters and like dialogue and things. It was all like very good. Yeah. I'm not really that good at like movie reviews anyway, so but I enjoyed it. There's a bit more like sort of like 6 parts in a way, sort of in it, but like, I mean, yeah, it was still okay. Obviously it's an adaptation, so it's not going to stay true entirely to the book, which I knew, and I'm totally fine with it. Yeah, it's an adaptation, it's based upon it. It's not like word to word sort of thing. And I know it was gonna like have to take out some parts because the book is like 350 pages and it's like an hour and a 50 film. But like it seemed like the film went very quick, even though it was like sort of longish for a film. But yeah, so they did like cut like quite a few like parts out of it and like sort of like the story and stuff. And it didn't show my favorite part, which was Patrick in like prison, sort of like telling the story sort of thing. Like that bit it stuck with me so much. I would have really liked that. And then like some of the characters weren't like in it and things. So yeah, like it was good. It just wasn't like great. I would like to rewatch it. And then yeah, so my final thoughts on this book. After putting everything together, I think I'm gonna give it 4.75 stars at the moment, and I'm gonna round that up to 5 on Goodreads. But it can very easily change because I do not know. Some parts of this book was like 100% 5-star. I loved it, but then other parts was like more close to like 3. So I don't know if I should give it like a 4 or like a 4.5 or something, but I don't know. I did enjoy it, and when I think about how like certain parts of the book weren't in the film, then it really like made me think like, oh, actually I really liked that bit. I really enjoyed it. It really like touched me, and I'm still like thinking about it now, even though I know obviously I read it recently, but like still like that's sort of like still in my brain and things. And yeah, I don't know. I would definitely 100% recommend the book and the film, but I'll say read the book first, so you can be like, I read the book first. But yeah, I would definitely recommend it. It was written well. The scenery and like everything like that is like really nice. Like I love Brighton. I really like. I know it a little bit, but I want to go like there more. I want to explore and things like. I'm just very like interested in Brighton and the city and like the surrounding areas and stuff. It's all like, it's very realized in the book, and the characters are like very real, and yeah, I don't know. I'll quickly like, talk about the characters because I was just like writing my thing about it. Marianne, you did a very, very bad thing and it filled me with so much rage. I was like, oh my god. But she was caught up in a bad situation in a time when the laws and society wasn't what they should be. And I feel if things had been different and times been different, then she would have obviously been upset to have lost Tom because she like loved him, but like she wouldn't have like grown as attached. I feel like if things had been done properly, and she would have accepted him, and yeah, she would have she was a nice character. She was a good person, I think, at heart. It's just she did a very bad thing because she was sort of like pushed and just like everything like around the time and stuff. So I don't really know. She's a nuanced person. Patrick, I did like him a lot. I definitely, like as I said before, I definitely enjoyed his like parts of the book, like his journal entries and stuff. I just felt more empathetic to him, and like certain things like that he was going through, and like thinking back and stuff, which was just like heart wrenching, and like I was just more there. But then also like he sort of knew what he was doing, but then like but like but then he couldn't have like done it anyway. But it's really hard to try and think of things to say, like put my words together. And then Tom was born in the wrong time. I mean, I just yeah, I don't know. And I said about Julie, I like Julie, but she kind of sowed the seeds. Sylvie should have been more adamant when you was turning Marion about certain things. You should have just been like, girl, I know these things, and like just listen to me. Also, she did like a kind of like like a very deceptive and like bad thing, but like I don't know. She was there. My favorite character, because I want to end on a very good note, is Patrick's mum, who I absolutely loved. She was the best character in the whole book. Even, I wanted more of her. I wanted to know what happened like after like Patrick left like prison and gone back. I wanted to like I just needed more of that. Like that's what I wanted. Like some of these things was like too much unnecessary detail that I didn't need. But in other things I wanted more of and I didn't get. But I didn't write it, so I can't really complain. Yeah, Patrick's mum, she was just she had it. She had the idea and she knew what was I just Yep. So I hope you enjoyed this video. It was kind of all over the place in a way. I don't know. It's probably going to be so long as well, but I hope you enjoyed watching it. Read the book, watch the film. Yeah. Bye.